right, so today we're going to learn another effect that is frequently used in album cover design and digital imaging itself, and that's what we call double exposure. Now, double exposure is where we basically take a photo of a person, could be a portrait of some sort, and it's usually a side photo because we get a good profile and a good shape of the head that helps us give this double exposure effect. So what we're going to want to do is think about a side portrait of ourselves. Could be one that you used for your silhouette collage, or it could be another one that you take. But I want you to use a photo of yourself for this. It just makes things a little bit more creative and a little bit more exciting. All right, so I have my photo of myself here, okay? And what I'm also gonna have you find is what kind of photo is going to go inside of your head, and that's where you can kind of be creative. Sometimes landscapes are really cool. Like if you look at this, it's kind of like a, some kind of a building there. We have like a street here. This is kind of cool with the trees and the mountains and stuff like that. Some cityscape is really cool. So I'm going to use this city of Chicago for mine. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I got my image in here, and I'm going to remove it from the background. So I'm going to grab my quick selection tool, and I'm going to go select subject. Okay. And there we go. I got a good selection. I'm going to hit Command C, Command V. And I'm just going to delete my background layer. So now I have my head there. Now I'm going to make my head as big as I can without it touching any edges. Very serious face here. Very passionate about double exposures. So now we have our face here. So I got this nice and centered, and we want it big because we want to be able to see the two images, right? We don't want our image to be very small and like down here in a corner, but we also don't want this image to be too big to where it's like taking up edge to edge. So I would say about 75% of that screen is what we want, just like that. Awesome. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually convert this image to black and white image. Make sure I got it activated. So I'm going to go image adjustments, black and white. And now I'm going to adjust the levels. Very great. So I'm going to go image adjustments, levels. Enhance my whites, enhance my blacks, get some contrast in here, and so forth. Now I'm going to actually add a layer mask to this. So what I'm going to do is to select this image, I'm just going to go select subject. So I have my selection. And then I'm going to click add layer mask, which is this box down here in our layers menu with a dot in it. We covered layer masks a little bit with our last assignment, but that layer mask is going to allow us to clip our image in nicely. All right. So now I'm going to add my second image on top. So I'm going to drag this in just like so. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to now make this image black and white as well. So I'm going to go image, adjustments, black and white. Oh, wrong one. Image, adjustments, black and white. Now I'm going to look at these two images and make sure that they go together in terms of contrast. So I'm going to choose image, adjustments, levels. I'm going to increase my whites a little bit, increase my blacks a little bit. Kind of right there. That looks great. Yeah, so those two images look pretty similar in terms of contrast. So now I'm going to make sure that this image, ooh, wonder what happened there. Image, adjustments, levels. There we go. Perfect. So now I have my image here, black and white, ready to go. Okay, and now I am actually going to clip this into my face. So I'm going to right click on this layer, and I'm going to create clipping mask like we learned in our last assignment. So now that clips the image into my face here, I can kind of reposition this and resize this. Oop. Guess I have to rasterize this. So I'm going to actually right click on this image and rasterize layer. There we go. So now, once I rasterize it, I can edit this. So now I can get some of that, you know, Willis Tower, that Hancock building in there. I can also flip this, like if I don't like the orientation of this image, I could actually rotate it, or I could flip it. So I'm gonna go edit. You don't have to do this, it's up to you. Transform, flip horizontal. This way I get maybe the Hancock towards, I kind of like that the other way. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. There we go. Yeah, I kind of like it there. That looks pretty good. It's nice and big. So I got the city in there, the Hancock in there. That's kind of cool. Perfect. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a layer mask to this layer. So I'm going to go back down to layer mask here because I want to brush some of my face back in. So I go to layer mask. Now I'm going to grab my paintbrush, okay, and that is your brush tool. There's a couple over here that look like a paintbrush, so you have to make sure it's just the brush. I'm going to make sure that my brush is a soft, round brush. I'm going to make sure that my opacity is 100% and the flow is about 15. Remember, our bracket keys change the scale of the brush. So if we look here, I'm on that layer mask. Okay, I'm on the layer mask, and I'm going to now come in, and as I brush, I can bring some of my face and some of my hair back into this image. Some of my neck, my shoulders, right? Okay. Some of the side of my head here. I can bring some of that back in. Let's say you start brushing some of this in and you don't like it. You can actually change your foreground color to white and remove some of that again. So like I don't like that I have my hair there. So just very selectively coloring and removing things, right? We want it to look like a nice transgression, right? If we look at some of these examples, we notice how those images are blended really well together, right? So that we can see, you know, that it doesn't look, right, exactly like here with this one where there's some of the face and some of the building, right? We want that to look very nice and clean, right? I could even maybe rotate this image a little bit. That could be kind of cool. Ooh, that does look pretty cool. I kind of like that a little bit better. Sweet. So again, using that layer mask with black paint and a regular brush to kind of bring some of our face back into this. Get some of that boat out of there. There we go. I'm going to get my hair out of there because that could cause a little bit of a distraction. So again, just kind of creatively going in. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring a little of my face back in there too. A little of my forehead. Good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a solid color layer to create a background. So I'm going to go down to this cookie. I'm going to choose solid color. It'll just be white to start, and I'm going to move this to the bottom. That actually looks pretty good. But what I like to do is I like to click on this solid color box with the little arrow in it. I'm going to double click. And then I can use this little eyedropper to grab, right? Like if I clicked on there, that looks weird because you see the shape of my head. We want it to look like it's blended. So I kind of click in that white spot up here in my hair, and now it looks like the image is kind of blended into the background, which is what we want, right? We want to see that. And I can go back in and adjust my contrast. So I'm going to click on my face there, and I can adjust the levels of my face to maybe kind of have a little bit more contrast, maybe look a little bit less gray. I can adjust some of these layer masks if I see some of my hair start to come through. The really hard part in this is the layer masking and getting things to be blended together to look somewhat normal, right? That's kind of the hard part there that we want, right? See, like if I pull some of my hair in there, that looks kind of weird. So I come back in with some white, and I can remove temporarily some of those areas. So it's a dance between adding and removing the layer mask of that overall image. All right. So after we do that, we're pretty much good. Now we have our double exposure ready to go. We could do these in color too. So if you wanted to try it maybe in color instead of black and white, give that a whirl and see what happens. But I'd like you to use the double exposure effect today with, you know, a couple images of your choice, and, you know, working towards understanding that effect. All right. Best of luck, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thank you.